Hi guys, it's me, BLAKGAL, also known as True One True. It has been a minute since I have been on here and it has been so much going on. I just wanted to come and check in, see how everybody is doing, and to let you guys know how I am doing. And although I am doing okay, it's been a little rough. It has been a little rough. My emotions have been all over the place. My feelings have been up and down and seemingly for no apparent reason. It's just a combination of everything that's going on in this world. So, one thing that I'm kind of excited about is the fact that I will be getting back to work here soon, or actually, I have started today. We're just getting acclimated with everything as it will be pertaining to our virtual learning, because majority of schools we're doing virtual learning. We're not in the classrooms yet, but only us staff started this week today, actually for me, and then the 8th after the holiday, the kids will return. So the last thing I believe I talked about was the situation with Tim Norman of Sweetie Pies and that whole thing. And I talked about how Nellie's former manager Wally has been implicated and or charged in that crime. I mentioned how that broke my heart, and it really did because I looked at them as family as well. I met Miss Robbie. I met her sisters Janice and Linda. I met her brother George. I met Miss Ann. She was mainly from the first season, maybe the first two seasons, and I met other few staff members. I never met Tim, Charles, or Andre, but I did have a little communication with Tim via social media. So anyway, just because of my love of the show, I love them as a family, and again, my heart goes out to them, and I pray strength for Miss Robbie and everybody involved in that situation. Miss Robbie, Andre's mom, his siblings, and just the family as a whole. On top of that heartbreaking news, this past weekend, we got the heartbreaking news of Chadwick Boseman. And that was really unexpected. It really blew my braids back because I did not see that coming. That broke my heart for so many reasons. And one of them was a selfish reason. I'm not going to even lie. That selfish reason is just the fact that I never got a chance to meet him and get a picture with him for my wall. I have in one of the rooms in my house what I call the celebrity wall or the wall of fame, with myself pictured with celebrities that I've met, and there's been a few, and I hope to continuously add to that wall. Aside from that selfish reason, it's just the fact that it was so unexpected, so unexpected and unbelievable. I did notice on some of his appearances that he had lost weight and he wasn't looking like himself. But the only thing I thought about his weight loss is that I thought he was getting ready for a new movie. I thought it was for a movie role. So I didn't sweat it. I saw mean comments about it that people made and, assumptions. My only assumption was that it was for a movie. And I wish that that was what it was instead of what it is or what has happened. Um, total heartbreak. Sorry, guys. That was a net. Ugh. Anybody knows me knows I hate bugs. So disgusting. So disgusting. I have my windows open. I have screens on them, so I don't even know how the thing get in here, but they're so tiny. Sorry, that threw me off my conversation or my topic, Chadwick Boseman. The loss of Chadwick Boseman. I just wanted to say that I fell in love, or really fell in like with Chadwick Boseman during his role as James Brown on Get On Up. Honestly, that's where I had the biggest crush on him, just from that role. And I know many people thought, ew, that makeup and that he didn't even look good and blah, 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 whatever in that role. But to me, that's where I fell in major like with him. And I must have watched that movie 1,000 times. I honestly did. And it's sad. Another reason that it breaks my heart is because he's so young. He was only 43 years old. And it upsets me because, has been reported, they have the testing requirements set for age 50 and up. He was 43. Also, now with his death and the light that it has brought to colon cancer, they're saying to bring the age down to 45, which still is not good enough. And especially for black men, that is just like black men or women. Women, we need to be tested for colon cancer as well. I have never been tested for colon cancer. I never even thought about it, but I have made an appointment. I have an appointment in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be tested. And let me tell you some of the symptoms here for colon cancer. If you have any of these symptoms, if you're 30 plus, I would suggest 30 plus. And I'm no doctor. This is just my opinion and my suggestions. Get tested, especially if you are African or Black American, okay? So the symptoms here, it says pain areas is in the abdomen, in your stomach. Gastrointestinal. So if you have blood in your stool, a change in your bowel habits, constipation, narrow stools, or passing excessive amounts of gas. Those are signs of colon cancer. Passing an excessive amount of gas, I never would have thought that was a sign of something that just you're gassy. Go get some Tums or something, right? Constipation, changing your bowel habits, if it says anemia or anemic, or fatigue if you're tired all the time. If you have abdominal discomfort, like cramps or anything, and or weight loss. Any of those symptoms, just go tell your doctor that you're having these symptoms and request to be tested. They say most insurances may not want to pay for early testing, but I believe, as Black Americans, Black or African Americans, we need to be tested sooner because we always hear about us that we are more subject to this, that, or the other, and nobody really knows why. They always want to say it's because of how we eat our soul food, but how can our food be any worse than what anybody else eats? And it's not like those that are not us, Black Americans, don't eat some of these same things. They eat collard greens, they eat fried chicken, they eat macaroni and cheese, I don't know what that is and I don't like it. But I think, again, just my opinion, they set us up for failure because why are we more subject to these things than anybody else? We are just as human as they are. We hurt, we feel pain, we go through things, and I'm sure they do as well, right? So I never understood that. I don't like it, and I feel like they set us up for failure because, I don't know, they don't want us to be here. So again, if you're having any of these symptoms that I've read off, request to be tested and make your voice heard when you go to these doctors because I, even from experience, know that the doctors, they don't want to listen to us, or they don't know what's wrong with us sometimes, but they will want to write us a prescription. Like, why are you writing me a prescription and you don't even know why this is happening, or you've not even ran any tests? I'll give you a couple of examples. One example, at the end of 2019, I developed a cough. And at first, I didn't pay it any attention. It was a cough. It was towards the end of the year, so it was winter time, and I began to cough. But the cough went on and on and on, and it got so bad I couldn't even talk without coughing. And so I made an appointment to go see the doctor. I couldn't see my regular doctor, so they appointed me with the next available doctor, a male doctor. And I couldn't even talk to him without coughing. I had gotten to a point where I could not talk without coughing, and I was coughing so much that my ribs hurt. It hurt to laugh. It just hurt. And I would be at work, and I'm trying to be with my students, and I couldn't talk without coughing, and it got so bad I have to run out of the classroom and run to the restroom because I was throwing up, just being real. So anyway, I saw this doctor, and I'm trying to get out. I'm coughing, and he pulled up my stuff, and you know what he did? He wrote me a prescription for cough. It just said cough. COUGH. That's it. He didn't tell me anything else and say why you're coughing. Oh, you're coughing because this, that, or the other. None of that. Just wrote up me a prescription. And I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this because why are you writing me a prescription and you're not even telling me why I am coughing? So the coughing, it persisted. It got worse. My ribs was hurting. My stomach was hurting. Everything was hurting. And another thing that I didn't like about the cough is because I hated going to work like that. And because I know me, if it was someone else, I would be giving them a side eye like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's with all this coughing and you're around all of us? Is it contagious or whatever? I hated that. I didn't want to go to work, but I had to. So, as the cough persisted, I made another appointment for this same thing. My doctor, again, wasn't available, and I guess no doctor at my clinic was available, so they sent me to a different clinic. I didn't care. I just needed to see someone. We needed to figure something out. And so I go to this different clinic, see a Hispanic lady at this clinic, and I'm trying to talk to her, and she's just like, oh, poor thing, like you can't even talk because it was terrible. So she pulled up my records just like he did, that last doctor. She pulled up my records and she says, it's your medicine. She says, stop taking it right away. Throw it out. Don't take it anymore. And I know I'm not the only guilty person of this. When we get our prescriptions, it comes with a list of side effects that we don't read. A lot of us, we don't read them. I didn't read them. So it was my prescription. I was taking lisinopril for high blood pressure at the time. So I threw that mess out, flushed it down the toilet. I don't know, threw it in the dumpster. I don't know what I did with it, but I got rid of it. And then I wrote this whole, I wrote all about it on my social media page. And then I had a few people in the comments. I had a few people in my inboxes telling me about their experiences with this same medication, lisinopril, Lisinpril, something like that. But look it up. If you take it for high blood pressure and you're of African American descent and you're coughing, that's why. I don't even know why they prescribe that to black people. Maybe for some it might work, but for the majority of us, and some of the stories that I heard, it's not for us. A couple of people said they almost died from that medication. And I think they know this, but they continue to prescribe us this medicine. And, doctors get paid for writing prescriptions. They get kickbacks and this, that, and the other, and they want to keep us medicated. And if I would have stayed on that, who knows what would have happened to me? Who knows what other medication I would have had to go on because of the damage that it was doing to me. I was hurting so bad. My ribs, I couldn't talk, I couldn't laugh, any of that. I've gotten way off topic here. I wanted to talk about Chadwick Boseman and the loss of him and the heartbreak that it has caused so many of us. Even if we didn't know him personally, we knew him and we grew to love him through the movies that he made that moved us. And just that, he was an African American man. And I just wanted just to say, like, get tested, especially if you look like me. If you're lighter than me, if you're browner than me, if you're Black American, get tested. And these symptoms, who would think? So he was diagnosed at the age of 39, which was 4 years ago. He passed away at 43. And we were having a conversation recently with some associates, and I was stating that, we were talking about the movies that he had filmed while going through all of everything that he was going through. And I mentioned the Get On Up, the James Brown movie, and one of the women was like, no, he didn't have it then. It wasn't that movie. That was in 2014. That's fine and dandy. I understand that. I hear you. And he wasn't diagnosed in 2014, right? He was diagnosed in 2016. But when he was diagnosed at stage 3. You don't start out at stage 3, right? We don't know how long he had it before he was diagnosed with it. So my assumption is, or was during that conversation, he might have had it during Get On Up, his portrayal of James Brown. And it's just sad. It's just sad. The loss of a king that meant so much to all of us. So just aside from it all, everything that's going on, like I stated in the beginning of the video, my emotions have been all over the place. I have so many things going on or not. I'm excited about getting back to work in some form or fashion because it will occupy my time, it will occupy my mind, and it'll give me some stability again. Like, I don't know if that's the word that I'm looking for, but it just give me something to focus on, and I can even be able to keep track of the days because I've been losing track of the days. Oh my goodness. So my heart goes out to Chadwick Boseman's family, his friends that really knew and loved him, and all of us fans that really knew and loved him as well, because it hit us hard. I had some friends say they never cried over a celebrity before. I have. I was a big fan of Prince. I was a big fan of Michael Jackson. I was a huge fan of Whitney Houston. I used to tell everybody she was my sister in my head, my big sister in my head. Bernie Mac, and I think that was a Chicago connection. It's the Chicago thing. I felt like they were family, So I have, and I'm sure I will again. But just want to, in closing, say to everyone, take care of yourself, your physical health, as well as your mental health. We always try to get our physical checked out, but our mental, we need to take care of our mental health as well, because that is so important. If you need to speak to a therapist, speak to a therapist. Talking to our family and friends about some things that we're going through sometimes, that's great. But sometimes it's okay to speak to a professional. And that's all I have to say. I just wanted to check in. I wish you all well. I wish you all good health, physically and mentally. Thanks for watching. Keep praying or whatever you do to keep yourself uplifted. Keep moving, get your blood flowing, them endorphins going, and live well. Thanks for watching.